Hello and welcome to the session on business analytics and its evolution. Although this concept of big data and business analytics is something that is new, the concept of large data sets is not new. It's been, in fact, there from 1960s and 1970s onward. Let's just look at some of the important milestones that have been influential in this evolution of analytics as we see it today. So, of course, there were the decision support systems of the 1970s, and then we had the evolution of executive information systems, online analytical processing, and the data warehousing and dashboards and scorecards, which all evolved through the 80s and 90s. Around this time, we also had a scholar by the name Howard Dresner, a Gartner analyst, who gave the term business intelligence that referred to a broad category of applications, technologies, etc., which was capable of storing, accessing, and analyzing data and helping in a minimal way, definitely to make data-driven decisions. And then, of course, this concept, by around 2005, we began to see the emergence of powerful organizations like Facebook, YouTube, and the others, and the kind of data that was being generated. So what happened was, from relational databases, from the concept of ETL, which was extraction, transformation, and loading into these databases, we started moving into the other forms, into more advanced technologies. So structured query language, which were typically then associated with relational databases, we now started having NoSQL, or the non-structured query language. We also saw the emergence of Hadoop, which was an open source framework that allowed the analysis of large data sets. In recent times, we've also seen Spark, another framework that allows the analysis of data, huge, large data sets. So what happens is that when we had multiple data sources, different varieties of data like clickstream, audio, visual, all kinds of data that was emerging, we also had technologies that were emerging and that could deal with these kind of data. And of course, the cloud, which is really added on to the capability of storing large data sets, has been influential in this evolution of business analytics. If you thought it is only consumers like you and me, that is the humans, that generate data, you're slightly mistaken here. Remember, there is the Internet of Things, which means even the devices have started generating data. Are you wearing a smartwatch? Are you wearing a fitness band? Look at the kind of data that is being generated. The wearables, the smart sensors, every equipment around you has been enabled to collect data that organizations can use in order to form profiles of their consumers, in order to form deeper understanding of their consumers. So with things getting more complex, on the other hand, you have technologies that allow that complexity to be manipulated, that complexity to be managed. And that has definitely led to the evolution of big data and business analytics as we see it today. Thank you. Welcome to the session on business analytics. So how do you define business analytics? It's a multi-dimensional concept, of course. But very simply put, it is a scientific process of transforming data into insight for making decisions. Remember, that is very important, the term insight. You might have the greatest of technologies. You might have timely and relevant data, of course. The human element of looking at the data with an analytical perspective and coming out with an insight is also important. that value cannot be underestimated. So, business analytics involves the extensive use of data. It involves the use of some statistical tools, quantitative tools, explanatory and predictive models, all of it to arrive at that particular insight and yielding sound and good decisions for the organizations. And of course, we know by now that better decisions result in increased revenue, increased profitability of business, which is very important for all the stakeholders of the organization, and of course, a better importance, better understanding of your data and sustaining competitive advantage for the organization. So it's not enough that Netflix makes an algorithm which is able to recommend what is the best movie or the series for the consumer. It is important that they continue to build better and stronger algorithms that are able to come out with more robust decisions, more robust insights into their consumers. That is the importance of business analytics. Let's look at analytics as a process. We said it is a scientific process that goes from data to insights. So let's just look at this a little more in detail. Processes, of course, consist of steps, and the first step would be your data. So it would involve the collection, the extraction, and the manipulation of your data. The second step would involve analysis. You analyze the data that has been collected and stored. You will try to visualize it. You will try to do modeling with it. All of those different actions that are possible. And then, on the basis of the visualized data, on the basis of the model that is giving you certain results, you begin to gather your insights. You typically ask the questions as to what happened. What has really happened in your organizations? Well, there has been a 10%, the customer attrition looks at around 10%. Now, what has really happened? You might want to break it down over the months. You might want to see what has been the specific events in the environment that you can correlate with this kind of attrition, and so on. You will also want to ask what is likely to happen or what should really happen. Different questions on the basis of which you are trying to form insights out of that data. And finally, on the basis of this insights, you are likely to go into actions. These could be operational decisions. These could be process changes, tactical decisions, or these could be strategic formulations. Correlated, different level of decision making that happens in the organization. If we were to consider it as a pyramid, you would have the strategic decisions on the top, you would have the tactical in the middle, and the operational decisions, which are the daily, day-to-day kind of decisions that are made. So this is a broad scope of what analytics is all about. In fact, there is this 8-step cycle that you can look at when you're implementing business analytics within your organization. The first step says you understand the company's product in depth. What is the product that you're offering? What are the services you have? How does it typically stand against your competitors? You have to have a clear understanding. Then, in order to have effective business analytics, you need to have proper tracking mechanisms which will help you retrieve data about these products and services. You deploy good quality. Quality is critical at all times. And then you apply the real-time analysis to the data. You use business intelligence to standardize reporting. You might want to ask certain questions and you get certain answers to those questions. And then you begin to look at more advanced analytic functions to discover important patterns. You obtain the insights and to extract the relevant knowledge from these patterns. Keep relating to the Walmart example. For instance, looking at the data of what customers bought when there was a hurricane warning, give them an insight into the kind of knowledge that was necessary in order to stock their shelves, make decisions to derive value using the knowledge derived. This is extremely important. This 8-step cycle tells you how exactly can you go around implementing your business analytics in the organization. So remember, business analytics is a process which starts with the understanding of your company, leading all the way up to the action that is involved within your organization. Thank you.